Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the Hannover in ranked with a full secondary build. This is the maximum brawling build I can possibly have. And we're doing that because there's no carriers in this season, which feels great. This is actually my first game back with my mods on this patch, so had to swap our crosshair real quick. But this is a full secondary build. We are not taking really any tank skills at all. We're going for maximum damage possible. And it's going to work out reasonably well. Since there's less ships in the game, it allows us to push in a little easier without having to worry as many crossfires. That's kind of the main benefit of ranked or brawls compared to random battles. In random battles, there'd be a bunch of people in the middle of the map and also flanking us on the one line potentially. That would mean we just cannot make this push up to this A-cap island here. Yet here, we're able to do it without really taking all that much damage. Pushing in one of these secondary brawling battleships, it's really what you want to be doing in ranked, especially because the goal is just to win. And even if we go down, we want to leave our team in a really good position to attempt to win. So this is us pushing in, trying to deal with DDs, trying to help on those destroyer engagements, as well as take caps. Using islands like this is always going to be a good idea if you're pushing up in any ship, but especially brawling battleships. Limiting the number of people that can shoot at you at one time is going to help you stay alive. And we nearly one-shot a Thunderer from full health with a secondary build of all things. We're not going to see Hannover perform that well most of the time with its main guns. They're honestly very inaccurate, but I will take it in this case. I'm not even going to pop my special in combat instructions here. We'll save that. There's a really good use case for it coming up. But we will finish off the Thunder. And that's 135k right off the bat. And a ship already taken off the board. Which feels good. And our team is actually doing a great job on the other side as well. But this is what you want. This is what you're going for as a brawling battleship. Or any battleship really. You don't want to sit at the back and let the game develop too quickly. Just because you're not going to win a lot of games that way. Decent hits here in on the Unicum, and this is going to be a great opportunity to use these combat instructions. It gives you extra range as well as DPM from these secondaries. Sometimes you want the DPM at close range, but in this case, Unicum kiting away, well, we want to keep him within our secondary range as long as we possibly can. So as soon as he's getting close to that 12.5 kilometer range, well, we're going to pop our special combat instructions and get 14.3, 14.1, something like that, is what our secondary range becomes. So he can't get away too quickly, although it only lasts for, what, 40, 45 seconds or so. But that's a really solid start to a Hannover game, and this is what we want to see. I'm shooting battleships a lot in this one, but a lot of the time I am looking to shoot DDs, I'm looking to shoot at radar cruisers, that kind of thing. I'm not actually wanting to shoot at the battleships most of the time. And in the next game, I'll show you an example of that. Oftentimes, shooting at battleships takes too long to kill them, and if you leave them on low health or medium health, you're not actually helping your team all that much, because their guns are still able to impact the battle, and possibly you could have been shooting at a destroyer instead and helping your team win in that case. So the secondary range runs out, and now we're going to start pushing in. Don't quite have our hydro up. If ideally, we would be waiting for that hydro to come back, but in this case, it's not quite up, so we're going to eat a torpedo. And then I think the Shimakaze just outright kills the Unicum here. So that's going to be that game. But 193,000 damage that quickly feels pretty nice. You're not always going to get games like that. I certainly die my fair share of times in this ship very quickly, albeit. This ship does not take fires very well, especially when we're running such an aggressive build. But we're trying to do a lot in a short amount of time, and that's okay if we die. There's our star. I was trying to get through qualifications, I suppose, but a decent match, quite a few secondary hits even, and actually quite a bit of damage out of them as well. 33,000, especially considering most of them are on Unicum. I will take that, actually. For the most part, Unicum has armor that's typically going to shatter, so not too bad. And on to our next game here, we're going to die very, very quickly. But I want to show an example of target selection and target priority and the differences that results in. So we, as a battleship, are pushing in very aggressively, and we're going to be shooting almost exclusively these DDs and cruisers. There's going to be a Hannover and a Thunderer shooting almost exclusively us for this entire duration of this match, or at least while we're alive. And you're going to notice at the end of it, our team has just such a better position overall. And so we're forcing the destroyer to be a little more passive here, this Marceau, as well as this Des Moines, trying to prevent him from getting a radar onto our small end, because our small end is pushed up very aggressively and potentially in a very dangerous position. So we want to help him out as much as we can. That's the idea here, is you want to be helping your DDs a lot. Submarine sneaks through or tries to sneak through our team here, so we're going to try and drop our depth charges, help out on that. But again, trying to shoot this Napoli, who is going to be a little angled, so it's going to be a little tough. But farming up these combat instructions feels very good, and we will take that kill on that submarine. And next up, Marceau. We've got our combat instructions this time, not using them for range, but rather for DPM. We want to help out as much as we can on the Marceau. Even if we get 1 or 2 extra secondary hits, that's 200 to 500 damage, maybe even 1,000 damage, depending on how that goes, to help out our small end win that fight. Napoli now turns flat broadside to us, and we get 2 overpens. A little different from that Thunderer salvo in the earlier clip, but that's okay. Still have our secondaries up, and we're still providing a lot of pressure to the enemy team here. Unfortunately, this is where we eat a triple fire, so we're gonna die here. But even though we haven't done all that much damage, the damage we have done is to very priority key targets on the enemy team. Very effective damage when you help kill destroyers, when you help kill submarines, and going after their radar cruisers or cruisers in general. So even though we are going to die here, I don't think it's actually that bad. I think we've actually set our team up to in a reasonably good position to win. We have control over the middle of the map here with this arms race game, as well as having most of the buffs. Napoli reversing out broadside to us now. Maybe we can get one last salvo into him. That would be the hope here. And he's just sitting there broadside, man. I mean, it's a Hannover, so can't expect too much. But we do at least get 1 Citadel. Unfortunate that we weren't able to kill that Napoli, even though we got 2 salvos into his flat broadside there. But 75k, and our team is in a dominant position for this one. Not too bad. Nearly even got up to 3 million potential damage there with such an aggressive build. It's pretty decent. And that's what I'm looking to do in Battleships. I enjoy brawling, so I'm always going to try and push in, but also try and play effectively, trying to go after those DDs and radar cruisers, helping our team win the game that way. And I really wouldn't recommend running this build in anything other than a special game mode that allows you to push in and brawl. So asymmetric battles, airship escort, ranked brawls, sometimes those game modes can work out, depending on the restrictions. But this is very aggressive. Yeah, we're literally all focused on damage here. That is the idea. So getting our main gun reload as best we possibly can, as well as that secondary range and accuracy. Also trying to keep those secondaries alive. That is not a good build for randoms, but it can work out somewhat in these closer ranged games. As far as the upgrades, they look a little something like this. Hannover did all right. Not going to be perfect every game, but we had some good ones, some bad ones with this ship. I certainly had a few matches where I played this thing with this build, and I just died instantly, and I really didn't accomplish much. But the ones where we did do something were very, very fun. It's kind of an all-or-nothing build, that kind of thing. So there you go. That is the Hannover for a few ranked games. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.